Welcome to Date Night Podcast,
a tabletop role-playing game podcast set in the homebrew world of Volyanaya.
Let's explore a whole new world together.
You're not standing anymore as you get inside the heart. It's full of blood, and it's pushing it through. You feel yourselves get pushed through a couple of valves, like that you have to almost squeeze through to get through, and then you get ejected kind of out of the top of this thing, and you can feel yourself on like a reverse water slide.
Oomoo's caught between wanting to go wee and
I'm using an action to grow gills on my goat form.
No,
Don't.
Okay, you can do that.
Cool.
got oxygen.
Yeah. So you do breathe in some blood into your gills, and you find it's not necessarily suited to your aquatic form.
You don't say.
I need everybody to roll Constitution checks as you're basically holding your breath in this water slide.
21.
Constitution's, checks.
15.
8.
Okay.
This dice is
5.
on its way
All right.
to going to jail.
Oomoo and Kira,
Alma's having the time for life.
as you are unable to breathe throughout this process, before you emerge on the other side and are ejected into this new space, you'd suffer 5 points of damage. And when you are ejected into the new space, you see this storm of static is flashing across the dark horizon in front of you, blasting between dull-colored masses that surround you, and then also translucent, smaller masses. It's a very alien landscape. It's only lighted past the short ranges of your dark vision in a strobing kind of fashion, making it even more difficult to take in, because every time the strobes flash, the shapes seem to have changed a little bit ahead of you. So trying to get an idea of what's in front of you or how to map where you're going to be going is difficult because those areas sort of keep changing.
Oh, this is a bad trip.
The closest approximation you can come to is something somewhat similar to the fibrous connections between, like in the tentacle-like bridges that sometimes connected things in the fungal cities. You have some of those bridges connecting some of the masses here, but it's still far as alien from that as those fungal cities are from a human city. Like it's completely different than what you're used to. The bridges are translucent, and occasionally you can see colorful pulses of energy blast by underneath your feet on these bridges as you sort of walk across one of them to trying to get to a larger area that's a little bit more stable based on kind of where you all landed here. And those pulses blast across the dark spaces in between the larger sections. So all of you making a dash off of the precariousness of these bridges where you emerged, I needed you to make dexterity checks.
Oh. Not fail.
This effing dice.
Really? 1?
7?
10.
All right. Oomoo, you don't fall or anything, but you're making very slow progress.
Is this a dex save?
Dexterity check.
6.
Aaron, what was yours?
7.
7. How do you have a 6?
Because I rolled a 3.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong dice. Okay. Aaron and Kira, you're down basically on your knees, like or basically hugging this thing. Amma. That's not going to happen.
Oh, no.
Philia!
Greasy, you start tumbling off the edge.
Whoa!
I reach out.
Oh, you're in no position to reach out.
Thorn whip.
You got a shot at him with Thorn Whip, so roll a spell attack.
18 plus 6.
That beats your AC, right, GW?
24.
All right, you
Can I
feel...
do it without the damage portion of the...
No, he's going to have to take that too, but
Right.
but you can pull him back. So you extend this Thorn Whip out, Indiana Jones style, just wrap it around Grease Wizard just as he gets to about the edge of your range on it, and you yank him back onto the platform where he regains his footing, and he takes
1d6.
2d6 because you're 5th level.
9.
9.
Well, you know Thorn Whip damage doesn't exist.
Okay, what type of damage does that do?
Oh, damn it.
I've never heard of that kind of damage before.
The wah-wah-wahs?
Sorry.
Wham, bum, wham, wham. It does
Piercing.
It does that type of damage. Okay, so roll a deception check to convince your ring that piercing damage doesn't exist.
Piercing damage does not exist.
Okay, you passed.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can't deal piercing damage for, what is it, the next hour. But you take half? Is that how it works? It's been a while since we've used the
It's
ring
for
of
a
blissful
minute.
Ignorance. Oh, for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you take half or no?
Resistant to that damage.
Okay, half. You take 4.
Nice.
All right. Go Ring of Blissful Ignorance.
Yay!
All right. So that's pretty much what you have. Now you're much more careful, kind of sliding across this bridge to the other side instead of running. And you make it across onto a relatively stable section of one of the central masses. And you can see that there are 6 tentacles spiraling out from your center in all directions, or tendrils, including the one that you just came across, which is really the skinniest of them. Most of them look like they're a little bit thicker in terms of their connection to each other. Might be a little bit easier to navigate. Can you all roll a perception check, please?
We should have brought Zev.
Or investigation.
Hearing or sight?
No, perception, sight.
14.
19.
16.
8.
Wait. 16.
Kira and Amma, you can see this being. It's nearly translucent, but kind of vaguely black, like a weakly cast shadow.
You see that?
It's near one of
Yeah,
the tendrils.
crazy, right?
What were your numbers again?
16.
19.
19. Amma, you notice that it's actually gnawing or chewing on one of these tendrils where it connects to the platform that you're on.
Hey, you cut that out.
All right. As you shout across the thing, and you all look where Amma's looking, you can see that this creature kind of snaps its head over to you just as it chomps through the last of that bit of the tendril. And its mouth is glowing this bright fluorescent blue, kind of like what the kids looked like the one time we had to stop them from having glow sticks because they chomped into one of those glow bracelets and had it all over their face in the dark. Yeah.
As everyone will understand and be able to relate to.
So you can imagine that kind of fluorescent glow, like spattered over this thing's mouth area. He spots you and hisses and makes a dash, trying to get to the next closest tendril that hasn't been chewed off. And he's skirting kind of the edge of the central platform.
So he's running away?
Looks like he's running from the tendril he just chewed to another one of the tendrils that's still connected to something.
How far away
Bow
is
and
he?
arrow?
He's maybe 100 feet away,
Oh, okay.
or, on scale. He's on kind of the opposite end of this big platform that you emerged onto.
Bow and arrow?
Yeah, okay.
And start running.
Okay.
21?
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
$14.
All right. So you let loose, and this arrow flies across the length of the platform. It disappears into the darkness for a second, and then the strobe flashes up again, and you can see it's still on course for this thing as it's running because you led the target enough. It strikes into the side of him, and you can see like this light kind of erupt from inside, maybe because of what he was kind of chewing on before. And he starts careening over the edge of this platform, and as he does, you hear him kind of say, "Kira, Kaka," and he crumbles off the side of the platform.
Ooh, got him.
Okay. As you take him out, and he falls over, you can see that, like, over his shoulder toward the tendril where he was running to, the whole platform flashes blue and fires a crackling beam down the tendril toward your platform, and it ignites, your whole platform ignites in a phosphorescent blue, and it extends out to the other tendrils that are attached to your platform. But where the gremlin type thing had gnawed through one of the tendrils and left it unattached, that energy bursts out of that opening and lightning streaks across the surface of the platform that you're on. I need all of you to make a dexterity save.
16.
15.
18.
12.
Wait, I'm proficient. That means I get the extra points.
You're over, so
Okay.
yeah, you do get extra points, though,
19.
but you're over the number. Amma, the lightning streaks across, and everybody sort of dodges out of the way. But as you were kind of watching the gremlin, it catches you a little bit more unaware, and deals
That was a lot
12
of punching.
lightning damage.
How convenient. I take half damage against lightning.
Oh, are you a lightning dragonborn? Or
Yep.
blue, whatever that is? Is it blue?
Dabba-dee-abba-die.
I didn't write that down.
Okay.
But I did write down.
I
I,
think-
have
I think it's
resistance to
blue.
lightning.
So I think you're blue,
Since this is blue,
which
Harvey, that makes
matches
sense.
in this area.
Yeah.
All right. Moments
That
later,
works out well.
moments later, you see the adjacent platform start charging up for another blast. But this time, lightning seems to ripple across its surface as well. So it looks like it has a new unconnected tendril where the lightning comes out and careens across its surface, tearing up the top of it like a plow bursting through dirt, and it's sort of blasting up into the air. But the broken tendril isn't the one that links you to the platform, and now that blue energy is charging down again toward the platform that you're on. So it looks like it's coming sort of the same way. It's going to try and hit your platform again. You should give
abandoned
it maybe
ship?
a
Platform.
second to try to do something. Yeah.
How far apart are the two pieces that are broken?
The pieces that are... You only have one piece broken on your platform.
Mm-hmm. And how far apart are the two edges?
It looks like when the piece was severed, like the rest of the platform or the bridge that led it to the other platform kind of fell down like a slack rope.
Okay.
So you're talking a couple 100 feet down as it's dangling from the old platform.
I cast fly.
Okay. So you're up in the air now for the next little while. You're concentrating. I don't know if you want to wear a hat.
I'm glad you understood what
That's
I was
a-
going for.
Concentration.
Is there a platform that we can get to that hasn't been having these flashes?
Roll a perception check.
8.
It's got to be plus something with your wisdom.
Okay, sorry. 11.
Okay. It's hard to tell in the dark with all the flashing going on which ones are still all the way connected. You know for a fact the one straight across where you're kind of looking where the gremlin was going doesn't have a connection because you saw lightning ripple across it, and you know yours doesn't have a connection. One of the tendrils is damaged on yours, right? So there are 4 other potential tendrils you could run down. So you're sort of examining the platforms that they go to. You notice that they do all go to platforms, but you're not sure which ones are safe.
First off, this goat is going through it today.
It is.
Second, I rolled a 16 plus 6. So-
Perception check?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'd like to check out the same thing.
Yeah. You can see it looks like a burst of blue energy blasts through one of the adjacent platforms, which maybe has a bridge that runs 80 feet or so from yours to the next. And when it bursts through that one, it doesn't come to yours down the bridge. It goes down another bridge, but no lightning erupts on it. So it looks like it's sealed, if we can call it that.
Guys, follow me. And I start running for it.
I follow her.
All right. Everybody
Go.
roll athletics this time.
Well, I kind of wanted to go see if I can grab
you
the
can
rope.
fly, so...
Yeah.
Bummer.
Well,
Okay.
I wanted to go see if I can grab the tendril that fell and try and
Okay.
connect it.
All right.
back.
16.
12.
You'll do that while everybody's running, since it's a little ways away.
Sure.
So GW leaves the surface of this platform, starts supermanning it over to that hanging tendril. And what's all of your athletics checks again?
12.
12?
16.
3.
Okay.
Follow me.
Yeah.
I go like rolling down.
Oomoo and Kira take the direction Amma's heading and run with it. But Amma just kind of
Falls.
gets a little bit left behind. No, she doesn't fall. She just doesn't get off the platform in time as the lightning streaks across it. So I need you to make another deck save, Amma.
Not great. 6.
So that's another 11 lightning damage, half to 5 for you because you're resistant.
Thank goodness. Because
Yeah.
Amma does not have as many hit points as Arin does.
And then you manage to make it across after taking that damage onto the other bridge. So you guys are on the bridge between the platforms. This one seems like so long as you're not sprinting across it, it doesn't look like you'll have too much, I guess, danger of losing your footing on it. So you're relatively safe on this spot. Grease Wizard, you get down to the edge of the tendril that's hanging slack, just as kind of a bolt of blue energy shoots out the bottom of it and shoots basically like a lightning bolt straight down, not in your current area. But you see it does still sort of have a connection on the other side to something, and it could occasionally blast.
I'm going to try and connect it to the platform. I'm going to pick it up and dash and try and reconnect it.
Okay. So you grab this tendril that's hanging loose, which is easy enough to do, and you fly up in about, it takes you like 10 or 12 seconds to shoot back up to, I guess if you're dashing, maybe half that, a few seconds to dash back up and try and make a connection. You can see that it's just basically these, as you grab a hold of it, it's kind of, I guess, stringy, fleshy, or grizzly, you might describe it as. Someplace between flesh and like a thin wire, like you might wrap around something when you're tinkering. And as you bring it back up, it's gnawed all around the edges unevenly. And you look at the two different pieces, and if you just touch them back together, it doesn't look like they're trying to necessarily grab each other. As you touch them and sort of check it, you see they just kind of flop a little bit.
Can I run back down and try to cure wounds on it?
I was going to call the spell squirrel over.
Or
Why
that,
don't you just use your
But-
tinkering skill to try to make it stay?
your tinkering skill to reattach nerve endings?
Reattach nerve endings.
It's
Yeah.
this.
In
it's
its
like this big
brain.
around. It's like
It is
full
big.
sized. It's not like he's doing like actual real brain surgery.
Well,
You were struggling to carry it up there, while still flying.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to try and...
Hot glue it or something.
Yeah. I'm going to just try and tinker it back together.
All right, well, roll an intelligence tinkering check. So you get to add your intelligence modifier and your proficiency in tinkering.
It's an 8.
I'm going
Alright.
to run back and try to cure wounds.
All right, well, while you're doing that, he's trying to put this thing together. You kind of sew a little bit of, like,
Ganglia.
yeah, well, I was thinking something you had in your pouch, like a little something from your kit that you take out and try to sew this thing back together, and you're thinking, yeah, this will hold it. And you kind of let go to let it test a little bit, and it starts to swing back, but you still have kind of a grip on it. So make a strength check as Oomoo's running up to see if you could hold it in place, or athletics if that helps, but it's probably the same.
That was not a great roll.
7.
All right, it slips out of your hands and starts careening back down into like a long swing,
Swooping catch.
like
All
a
right.
pendulum.
I'm going to go grab it.
All right, you're going to burst back down that way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take it if it happens again.
All right, yeah, Oomoo, you see a bolt of lightning start streaking from the other, or a bolt of blue start coming down the other bridge toward your platform.
God, do I have any? No, I have nothing. Just F it.
You think there's a chance you could run and get out of the way, but that's up to you what you want to try to do.
I'm just going to take it.
All right. So it comes down the platform, or the tendril to the platform, ignites that in kind of that blue color. Then you see it erupt out of that broken tendril that you're standing near and make a dex save.
8.
Well, 3 of those D6s are 1s. 6, 7, 8, 9 lightning damage. All right, GW, this thing swings kind of wide.
I'm going to wait for it to, like, on the upswing
okay.
and then charge it.
Good, so it swings far away, starts coming back like a pendulum, almost gets close to back where it was before. You get under it and just force it back near where it was, and up against the other thing. And Oomoo casts Cure Wounds on it.
9.
Okay. With that, you can see like these ganglia or whatever, these endings kind of start reattaching to each other and braiding into each other and pulling up the slack, like between this slack rope bridge, making a tight connection again. And you see, basically it looks like, for all intents and purposes, it has been reattached. You get the idea. Another one of those blue pulses comes from a different side this time, down another bridge, hits the tendril and erupts it in that blue kind of inside of it. But when it gets to the side, it leaves down that tendril that you just recreated to the far platform. And you see it looks like you've sort of stabilized the platform that you're on right now.
You said
Only
there was
854 left.
there was one more that had the same problem.
Well, the one adjacent that has the same problem, at least. Everybody can roll a perception check if you want to try to get a better idea of what's going on the larger scale.
20.
Okay.
7.
18.
18.
Kira's clueless.
You start to get the idea, looking around with some of those higher numbers there, that this is not something isolated to this area. Like, it wasn't just the one thing that was disconnected. Like, you can see a small percentage, but in terms of the hundreds of these platforms that there are, a significant number of them that seem to have lightning running uninterrupted across their surfaces rather than jumping from one to another down the tendrils.
I've
Man,
only
this
got
goat-
so many spell slots, guys.
Man, this
Yeah.
goat is having a bad headache.
But just so you're standing on this platform, occasionally this blue energy is harmlessly pulsing under your feet, escaping through one or more of the connections. You've caught sight a little bit as you're kind of standing here and catching your breath and looking around at all the platforms. On some of them, you can see that there's some of these like gremlins, but you can only see them fleetingly in the dazzling explosions on the distant platforms. The air here, as you've taken a second to just calm down, you notice is obviously kind of electrically charged. You can see that the hair on your arms are standing up and on your heads.
Seriously, Dad, I have
And,
hair.
like kids on an experiment.
scales.
Yeah, I guess Alma doesn't. Oomoo, you look particularly fluffy
My moose sense is tingling.
from this effect.
Your deer.
You're a deer.
My deer sense is. Wasn't that good of a joke, anyways.
But your fur is dancing around like divining rods to and fro, pointing toward the nearby explosions. But more and more, it seems to be pulling toward one direction. Like you can see Oomoo's fur is like drifting toward, I mean, it's hard to tell directions in terms of north and south, but we can say for the sake of this, it's kind of like, what you might approximate as a northeasternly type direction.
Oomoos
Until
completely
there's
unaware.
smaller, closer charges, then it moves a little bit. But when there aren't, you can see it sort of pulling that way.
And we just stares back at everybody. What?
Can I look in that direction and see if I see anything?
Yeah, you can roll. I guess this would be investigation because you kind of
I'll
have
do
an
the same.
idea that you're looking for something.
Okay, 19.
It's pretty good.
That
14.
one.
Okay. You're looking the wrong way. Or just looking at Oomoo's fur and seeing you thought you saw a flea.
I got
Ah.
17.
Kind of got
Probably.
you weirded out.
I don't think I see a flea. I know I saw a flea. Umi's probably got the fleas named.
Okay. I guess you'd have to ask him about that. But Amma, you do see that there is one concentrated section of platforms that is just constantly erupting in lightning, but it's a number of bridges and platforms away from you. Like it's going to be again, with the strobing kind of going on here and the fact that these platforms are shifting around in the way they remain connected, but the bridges sort of start making little hooks and getting more slack and being pulled really tight. So it's hard to tell what the shortest path would be if you wanted to go in that direction.
Oh, no problem.
But you do get an idea that it's
That's
that
where I
way.
should be.
Well, that's
like-
where the biggest part of the chaos is.
Well, I rolled a 19, so does that give me the sense that I need to go there to fix it? Because I don't want to.
You just, again, that's less of investigation and more
Seems like
just
perception.
trying to
wouldn't it?
figure out like what you need to do here. But you think, you were sort of told you got to try and fix what's going on in the brain. It looks like that's the most chaotic part of the brain.
Cool.
So you've got that to go on, I guess.
I cast Spider Climb.
All right. Is that a concentration spell? What does it say?
I don't know. I don't have any spell cards.
I bet it is. So you probably have spider climb
I'm
for a
following
while. I'm not sure.
whomever is nearest
Along
me
that
that is
left
not
side.
climbing or flying.
But that does make you very adept to being on any of these
Concentration.
surfaces.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can go like upside down, sideways.
So if any lightning comes at you in the future while you're spider climbing, you'll be able to roll an advantage on your dex checks. Or if I make you roll a dex check to run across a platform, you can just run across it.
Okay.
I'm flying.
Just
Hey, Moo
mark
Moo.
your spell slot, since that's
I also
something
don't know
you're
how
not
many
used
spell
to
slots
doing.
I have. I know that it's a level 2 spell.
That can last up to an hour, by the way.
Okay.
What are you? Are you a wizard?
I'm a druid.
Oh, Drew.
Well, then you'll
I
have the
didn't realize we already
same
had a
number of
druid.
spell slots.
Yeah, you've got 4 first level, 3 second level, and 2 third level, and 2 cantrips.
Okay. This, according to the sheet I rolled, I know 3. Oh, wait. This one might not count because it's weird.
Right. One of them could be a racial or could be something else.
Or it
Yeah.
could be that my
One of
information's
them
out
is
date 'cause
completely
it's still-
useless because it's just you make the club that you already have really good.
Shillelagh.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're sign languaging.
Okay.
So
I'm
4
signing.
level 1, 3 level 2, 2 level 3.
And 3
Yes.
cantrips.
Yes.
But cantrips you can just use as much as you want.
Apparently, I was out of date on my sheet.
4, 3.
Oh, you get an extra. At 5th, you're supposed to get an extra, but Oomoo was
Third,
right.
And
And we
I
just
was
gave him.
basically 5th, and
Except
Yeah.
for the spells.
Yeah, you just didn't update that. Yep. Anyway.
You had different.
I was
spells.
shoehorning and everything, but I missed the cantrips. And when I looked at
Well,
the
yeah, you
information-
wouldn't have needed those. Do you have what you can do with your spells in this place, like your 3rd level spell slots?
You told me not to do any spells for 3rd level spell slots. You told me to do the 2 special spells you had.
You have those, though.
Yeah.
Still. Okay, because that was from last time, so I just making sure you still had them.
Yeah, I still got them.
Okay. So, you do think that, this is relatively safe for the current moment, at least. But is there anything you want to do before you, or what do you want to do?
So I cast Spider Climb, I guess, on myself, and then just kind of walk over there.
Start heading in
Yeah.
that northeasternly type direction?
Yeah, to
I'll
the
fly.
center of the chaos.
All right. And so you just start heading across those platforms.
I'm following if I'm able to.
All right, yeah. It's pretty easy to find or tendrils that don't look as hairy to climb across. Sometimes it might take you slightly longer, but sometimes those connections, if they don't go straight to the platform you're heading for, they go to another one, and then you can cross over. You have a couple more close calls with some of the lightning coming across, but in either sprinting across those areas or dodging out of the way, managed to make it across a half dozen or maybe 10 platforms that start getting you closer to that chaos that you see. As you do, you can see a small mass of what looks like just dark outline creatures moving to and fro on some of the other platforms. And as you cross over to the next bridge, your path toward the lighted, trying to make it toward that lighted cluster, you see a big flash. And on the far side of the platform that you're on, a gremlin has just chewed through one of the connections. But it has its tube of that tendril next to its mouth, like a giant straw. And despite the fact that this thing is like gnome-sized, it opens its mouth to a large enough size to basically put this giant fluorescent straw into it. And as it has the tube in its mouth, a blue bolt of energy rocks across the length of the tendril from the other platform that it's coming from, and explodes as it reaches him. And you watch the gremlin convulse momentarily as the boundaries of its form morph and twist, and its shape getting closer and closer to coalescing each time it's re-illuminated by the flashing of nearby platforms, as it's about 100 feet away and just outside your dark vision, until it seems to take the form of a man in matching green slacks and a button-down shirt with gold buttons on it, carrying what looks like an odd black spear attached to a sling across his chest. And you can make an intelligence check. Tell you if you notice anything.
It's not my strong
or
suit.
Figure anything else out.
9.
11.
14.
I lost my D20. 19.
Basically, you get the idea that even with that 19, it's hard to tell exactly what's happening. You get the idea this thing was obviously just transformed by having this connection through that tube. And it takes a step towards you and shouts at you. It's a language you don't understand, though.
I shout back at it.
Hello?
Like, what are you shouting? Or in what language?
I'll probably speak common
Okay.
and just shout like, I love you.
Okay. As you do that, you can see the thing kind of pull the spear-shaped thing up to its shoulder. And a crack blasts out, and a section of the ground beside, like underneath where you're flying, just under your feet, crunches like it was hit by a rock thrown at great velocity.
I shouted again.
Okay.
And
Good
keep in
call.
mind what my ring does.
Yeah.
So it's very loud.
Oh, yeah, that's that ring. I'm
Your
thinking
other
of your
ring.
other ring with the resistance, which may have worn off by now. I'm not sure how that works.
You're just all
Yeah,
decked
it is
out in
very
jewelry,
loud.
like head to toe.
Which honestly makes it so that you're sure that this thing can hear you, but it doesn't look like it takes any notice of the things that you're saying or has any comprehension of them.
Okay.
What did he want it?
So
What did he want it to say?
Puts
I
its
love
eye,
you too.
again, kind of behind that spear-like thing it has up on its shoulder, and you hear another crack come across the distance between you.
Uh-oh.
And again, smacks into the platform, and a big section of it just erupts like where it hit and cracks.
What's the range again?
About 100 feet away,
Okay.
maybe 120.
I'm going to shoot back at it.
All right.
25?
Yeah, I'll say that it's.
13?
All right. Is that with you? Well, he's already acted. That's right. So that arrow sticks into
Wait,
this.
no, just 8 because he hasn't taken damage.
No, he hasn't taken damage. All right. The arrow sticks into the side of him, and he daggers back just a step or so and starts aiming that device over at you.
Second attack.
Okay.
That was briefly a 17, and now it's down to a 3. So 11.
Yeah, that hits.
Now I can do Colossus Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
6 total.
All right. As you do that, the second arrow goes into it. You see him shrink back down to like that gremlin shape and just explode in a burst of the blue light.
Woohoo.
All right.
You're welcome.
I want to go grab his spear.
All right.
I'm calling that
When
a
he
shock lance in my head.
transformed,
Oh.
the things he had are gone too. Like everything he had turned back into the shape of the gremlin and exploded into a thing of blue light. So there's basically nothing there but some of that blue glowing stuff.
Okay.
This whole time I'm making my way back over to the same place I was trying to get to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's where you've been trying to head. Like, you've been going
Yeah.
platform to platform.
I just wanted to make it clear that I didn't stop.
Okay. Yeah.
Apparently, I'll be there in a few short years.
Right. that connection that you saw that last gremlin sever was where you were heading. It was like the most direct route to the next platform. But again, not the only route toward the destination. So you cross again, bridge after bridge to new platform after platform. And as you get even closer to the glowing cluster, constantly readjusting for the paths that have been destroyed, the frequency of those destroyed paths starts really increasing. So yeah, the frequency of like all these connections being severed is more and more. Your exposure to in a lot of cases, though, like there's not a lot of lightning coming through them because there's so few of the connections. So in that way, it's a little bit of a relief. But in the way of trying to find a direct path, it's kind of frustrating because not everybody can fly like GW. But you do get closer and closer, taking this kind of zigzag route to the way that you're going.
Can't fly, can't fight,
you've also
can't crow.
You've also seen more and more of the gremlins as you've gone, but not all of them have been in their gremlin shapes. In fact, the most common one you've seen are sort of harmless ones that haven't been attacking you, but you did see one transform into one of these, so you'd get the idea there were the gremlins. There are things like goats or dogs or other things that they've been shaped into. Other men that you saw with strange weapons like the one that attacked you that were more like a blunderbuss than a spear after you saw them in action. And though some have seemed to have blades on the end of them, that you saw up close and personal as you took them out. So you make great progress. You cut down through enemies in pairs or singles and manage not to take any significant damage or get cut off from your path until one of the platforms skirting the edge of the main action that you've been looking at, you walk into a tight spot. So you cross over to this platform and you see it looks like there are kind of built-in like cover that some of those creatures with the blunderbuss type things are ducking behind. And there are also some other creatures on here, and most of the tendrils to this are severed. And after you get like a few feet onto this platform and you can see those different sort of defenses that are set up, the platform behind you drifts away and you see one of the little gremlin creatures swinging on the edge of it as it goes back toward the platform that you just came from. And you realize now you've basically walked into what looks like a trap.
Welcome to Date Night, the tabletop role-playing podcast with me, Mike. If you want to learn more about our show, how to get bonus content, how to listen to us, where to find the podcast, where you can see art and maps, and just generally just about everything related to the show, it's best to check out our website at d8nightpodcast.com. You can also find ways to support us there, like maybe becoming a premium listener, buying us pizza, or supporting an episode and having your very own message read. Click the sponsor tab to find out more. As always, we love you guys and appreciate your support any way you can provide it, from sharing, subscribing, just listening, or sponsoring us. Now, let's get back to the story.
So you ran across the platform and it just got chewed off behind you, and one of those gremlins went swinging on the long rope. Whee! So you can see there's some X's around the board that I set up. Those are places that used to be connected and are currently not connected. So now there are currently 2 open spots that you can see connected. And as the lightning flashes, you get sort of a view of the scene that's going on here. And you've kind of got the idea that you're dealing with things from potentially another world. So I'm not going to try to keep describing them maybe in your terms. Or your character's terms. I'm just going to describe them in our terms to make it a little bit easier for now. Some of the things you see first are there are 4 soldiers quite a ways away from you, kind of holed up behind barricades. There's a little bit of barbed wire between you and them, scattered across the map that blocked some of the ways that you could move.
4 soldiers or 4 groups of people?
Those are 4 soldiers. Soldiers by the army men standard.
Oh, okay.
Those are the ones with the guns, basically, like you just fought on some of the other platforms.
No, that's a shock lance.
So then on the one of the 2 still attached platforms, you see a wave of 4 gremlins rushing down it in their normal forms. But the things that are closest to you right now are a farmer who's standing there with that's supposed to be representative of a pitchfork, that Lego spear. And there's a chicken kind of next to him. And then there's a really loud noise from your left, which is actually somebody running a lawnmower into your direction wearing 70s short shorts, a striped shirt, and basically some disco chains around it as well. So that's kind of an overview of the scene. I think the first thing we're going to have to do is roll some initiative and figure out where everybody falls here, which is going to be a bit of a challenge.
20, not net.
Yeah, hold on. I'll roll.
Sorry. Can I re-roll?
Do you have advantage on initiative rolls like I do?
No.
Well, then no, you can't roll.
But I did bad.
Yeah, loser.
It gives you more time to learn your spells.
I'm still going to be woefully incompetent.
All right, so anybody 20 or over?
Me.
Kira? Do I have anybody?
Level 5 spells.
Yeah, okay.
The spells are level 5, or they're spells appropriate for a level 5 character?
Correct.
Okay. So I was about to say, I'm not at level 5 spells yet.
Anybody 15 to 19?
No.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Okay, make in my own personal notes. Let's leave a giant space for everybody else. How many bad guys do I see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Where's 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I guess
8,
I'll go
9,
ahead and
10,
write
11.
the health of these things down on the page, too. Okay, 10 to 14.
13.
Oh, 13.
13's
I got a dex of +1. What's yours?
Dex
higher.
of +3.
All right, so GW. Oomoo.
What was that, 7? Number?
What's what number?
Your initiative number. I'm keeping track as well.
I rolled a 13.
Okay.
All right, 5 to 10.
Wow, really?
That means
Oh, no, you're...
Oh, 5. I got 5.
5. Is it Alma or Ama?
Ama.
Ama.
Or Amma.
Orin.
Orma. Orma.
Amma. Like mama, but they spelled A-M-M-A. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah.
All right, so I'm going to make these soldiers like the right
So, hold
soldier,
on. The thing
middle
representative
soldier,
of
the left.
the Enderman from Minecraft.
Yeah, those are gremlins.
All 4 of those are gremlins?
Yeah, they're all supposed to, I just don't have 4 Endermen to be them. So I made him like the captain, but they're the same. They all look kind of the same.
This is very good for our audio podcast.
Yeah.
Images will be shared on our Facebook page and Twitter and website.
He's the captain. It doesn't make him any better, but he likes his title, so it's his only tenuous grasp of power.
Building a rich backstory for this.
He'd also be good in middle management if this was Earth.
For this evil entity living within the brain of a goat.
He's like that manager you had on second shift at McDonald's. He's that guy.
I never worked at McDonald's.
That guy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to go. I've got the initiative, I think. There's a lot of people on this board. So to kick things off will be Kira, based on what we got going on here.
So there's a lawnmower coming towards us.
Yep.
And remember, this is all taking place in a theoretical goat's head.
Right, on one basically neuron of this goat.
So Kira's not really going to know what guns are, and he's the only one coming close to
Well,
us.
you do have the idea based on your experiences crossing the other ones.
You already saw
where
one
you
shoot at
fought
us.
You had a couple on your way here,
But
that
he
you took
missed
out.
us.
So you get the idea that these things are shooting projectiles. So you do know that.
They're like crossbows.
But loud.
They're like
You've
a
seen the
blunderbuss.
blunderbuss, and you've seen actual blunderbusses. So these are like those, but they don't. The retort's a little bit different, but that's about all.
Okay, in that case, so far as this map goes, I'm going to go for the guy that's behind the green crenellated thingamajigger on the
All right.
far right.
It's the castle spire.
Yes, that thing.
Yeah. So he's got half cover, but you ignore that as sharpshooter, right?
Yes.
So Kira pulls back her bow, aims at this guy who's got a gun over the edge of this barricade, getting ready to fire, and
Rolls a 22.
that will hit.
What's your modifier?
That was plus 8.
An of +8.
5.
Okay. For me, he's left soldier. All right, so you stick an arrow into part of what's exposed here, which is basically his torso. Doesn't knock him over, but staggers him a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I can go again.
Yeah, you can.
21.
That also hits,
21?
and now he's below max health.
10.
Okay, so as you get like this little spark of this lightning lighting things up for you so you can see this guy nice and clearly, you let loose 2 arrows very quickly, one into his torso, one into his neck, and this guy again reverts back into like that gremlin form for a second and then explodes into a scattering of blue phosphorescent light. Could you remove him from the board,
Yes,
Mike?
I can.
All right.
Can I make? What do I touch to make him explode into blue phosphorescent light?
Tap him on his head. No!
Whoa!
I actually installed a paint grenade in there. All right.
My character sheet.
So, all right. So the next turn is somebody who's not yet on the map. So somebody comes barreling down the other connection.
Add a little box to my list.
Basically, what you see here is, again, I'll describe it in our terms. It's a bunch of roller derby girls. So they're coming down this path, and I'm treating them as a swarm.
How does the goat have a how does a goat have a perception of what roller derby girls are? Did they take the goat to the roller derby?
That's
Yes.
for you to imagine.
Oh,
All right. So the roller derby girls come out to about there.
Wonder Woman.
And that's... Oh, they can dash. So they're going to take some cover around here. All right. Now, the gremlins who are coming down the other path are going to move. So I got to move all these dudes.
Move your mic so that you can reach and still speak.
Hi. We're getting up close and personal now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, audio friends. I'm moving little pegs 5 hexes at a time.
Welcome to Date Night ASMR.
All right. Their turn is done. It's the Grease Wizard's turn now.
All right. The Grease Wizard. Huh? Oh, no, I'm out of 3rd level spells. I'm going to fly over and I'm going to pick up the lawnmower.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You're flying. That's definitely within your distance. So, roll a contest of... What are you trying to do with the
I'm
lawnmower?
just going to pick it up for a sec.
Are you trying to take it from him, or...
Yeah, we'll see. I'll take
All right,
it from
well,
him.
let's roll a strength contest.
Put it on his head, aren't you? Yeah.
I got a 5.
I got a 7.
All right. So you yank the lawnmower.
Uh-oh, greasy hands.
from this guy's
Yeah.
grasp.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My hands are really greasy, though. You got to keep that in mind. My hands are always greasy.
Oh no, what are you
He's
doing?
So I
gonna
lifted
drop
it
the
up
lawnmower.
just enough. And then, I dropped it on his head.
Okay. Fair enough. Roll a dex check as you
Is it
fly
running?
over him and try. Yeah, it's definitely running. It's very loud.
That's an 21.
Oh God.
the worst.
That, oddly enough, hits.
Mental
Go ahead
image.
and roll
horrible.
4d6, please. You want 4?
Yeah. Uh, 10, 15.
All right. So you drop the lawnmower on this poor sap's head, and you hear it, and you see blood shoot out the side of it, and then you hear it grind on the metal chains that are around his throat, around his neck, and pull them tight into the blade. But you can hear a big grinding noise inside the lawnmower right now.
We've now officially
And-
are doing date night Saw edition.
Where did you land? Well, I guess, are you landing or are you
No,
still flying?
I'm gonna take the rest of my movement because that was not that
Mm-hmm.
much, and move up.
Okay. Oh, okay. Up higher.
Yeah.
Listeners, I apologize for these poor, grotesque mental images.
Put yourself on there.
No, the timer. Oh,
All right. Yeah. So you're, we'll say 25 or 30 feet up in the air.
It says 30, so he's 30 feet in the air.
Good enough. All right. Oomoo, you're next.
I'd like to cast Entangle on these 4 gremlin guys in the back.
Sure. What's the radius on that?
A 20-foot square.
Aw, he's got little things.
Here's some leaves. A 20-foot square. You can put it where you want it.
This is
At an
starting to
ang-
remind me of those like flannel graph things.
Yes. Everyone can fit in it.
Yeah.
I don't think that guy gets in
If
it.
it was on a,
It was on
in a
top of him
diamond.
bef-
Yeah, if it was in a diamond shape, it would.
It's on part of his hex, but
You straighten it out. See?
He'll fit.
okay.
I mean, when I said it, when I
If he
said
fits-
it down, they were all underneath the paper.
Okay. He's
If
on
it
half,
fits,
so
it
that's
ships.
enough. So they're in Entangle. What happens to them?
They have to. Well, first of all, it's difficult terrain,
Mm-hmm.
and secondly, they have to do a strength saving or be considered restrained. I'm gonna double check to make sure that does say restrained. Restrained, yeah.
All right.
Until the spell ends.
What do they have to beat?
Against my spell save DC, which is a 14.
Okay. 2 are restrained.
Okay.
I'll say, for the sake of this, the back 2.
Any damage?
No damage, but they
Okay.
have to take their action to make a strength check again to see if they free themselves.
Oh, so they're stuck.
They're stuck.
All right. They are stuck. Now, it's the lawnmower guy's turn. So
And
he's
rolls
gonna
to scream.
yeah he's screaming but choking, so it's kind of gurgled and he's trying to get himself free from under the lawnmower.
Yeah, I'm just picturing Saw here.
He pulls himself out from under the lawnmower and stands up.
And he's a horrible, horrible mess.
He is a mess. He's very bloody. I gotta move my chair because I can't stand or sit. Put the chair here.
Please, someone put him out of his misery.
So I'm just gonna stand up now.
He's going full Mercer.
Yeah, that's all he can do. That's his action and his movement. So next is the farmer. The farmer's going to send his chicken to attack. So the chicken lifts off, moves. It can move 40. It's going to try to get to Oomoo.
Oomoo.
5, 6. Yeah. Okay. And the chicken tries to peck you and misses.
Okay, reaction, he takes 3 poison damage.
Okay. He doesn't do anything for that?
Nope.
Okay, the chicken explodes into a puff of feathers. And the farmer's like, oh, man. Now it is Ama's turn.
I'm back.
Oh.
Sorry.
There's so much movement.
We just lost half our viewership right there.
Our viewership?
Listenership.
We've lost
Yes.
all of our viewership.
All
Our
of
dedicated
viewers.
viewership. Okay, Amma doesn't have any good spells. But she does have,
Yes, she does.
You have as many as I do.
I mean,
Not kidding. You've
But
got
the
all of
random
these.
prepared, probably,
Oh, okay.
my
based on what they got.
You can have up to
what
ni-
now?
Prepared. You can have.
It's been a while since Amma did magic and she forgot how it works.
So she turns back into Aaron and
What's
hits
your
it with
wisdom?
the axe.
What's your wisdom mod?
Plus a lot? Plus 1?
Oh, wow.
No,
Whoa.
It's
Wisdom.
But I'm proficient in that.
Aaron wild
so
shifts into
it's-
Dern.
It's just one, so it's.
But I'm proficient in that. No,
Doesn't
I'm not.
matter.
Never mind. Wait, no, that's Aaron's sheet. Sorry.
I'm so confused. Okay, 3. You can have 9 prepared spells at level 3.
Did the sheet you find have prepared spells
It
on
had
it?
prepared spells on it, but they all suck.
Okay, well, those are your prepared spells right now, because you can't prepare new spells in battle.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry for this diversion
That's
where I
okay.
learned how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Druids and
Spellcasting is
Dragonkin.
I
very
want to hit
different.
it with my club.
All right, Shillelagh.
Yes. Okay, well, first I'm going to cast a cantrip.
Shillelagh's
All right.
Shillelagh's a spell.
Yes.
It's a
Is it one of-
cantrip.
Is it one of your prepared ones?
Cantrips
Yes.
are free.
Yeah,
She
but
had
it is
that
one
as
of her
one of her
prepared-
Tells me I
cantrips.
can only know 3.
Yes.
She said that was one that she
That's
had.
one of my
Okay.
cantrips. And I use it on my club, I guess.
Okay, so your club grows
3
like the
sizes.
Grinch's heart. And now it's big, and that's a bonus action, I think, right?
Yeah.
So now you still have your movement and your action, if you'd like.
Hit
Who's,
it with the Shillelagh.
who's nearby that I should hit?
Farmer dude.
I guess I'm going to go for the...
Or
Is the
lawnmower
farmer
dude?
close enough that I could get to him?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could get about to the edge of the fence there. You'd still be 20 feet or so away from him, I think, if your speed is 30.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm learning how to do this. I don't know what to do. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to hit him. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to get close enough.
Not with the club.
No.
You could hit him with something if you have ranged, or you could if you have heals or buffs, you could use those.
What spells do you have?
Or you could just dash or try to
Okay.
move.
Let's see.
If you run there and then do poison spray, that could work.
Yeah, but I'm worried about doing poison spray inside of the goat because I'm worried that it's going to hurt the goat if it lands on the neurons.
We're on a neuron. It's okay.
You are pretty teeny.
Okay, I guess I'll run up as close to him as I can get.
What's the range on poison
10
spray?
feet.
Well, you can move and see if you can get within 10,
The goat.
the
now has
shortest
dimension.
route.
I think I'm within 10.
She just crashes over the barricades.
I think you can just get to the corner of that fence. I counted them the other way. Yeah, like there.
Okay.
That's within 10, right?
No, each hex is 5.
5?
So
Yeah, that's 10.
No.
it's
No,
20 feet.
15.
Okay.
Well, yeah, 15.
Alma runs that far and then, I don't know, just trips and falls down. And her belt breaks and her pants fall down in a funny way because she's not good at anything.
Poor Mellow Leg.
You're fine. It's just sometimes you can't get to where you want to get right away.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I can use my sling.
Yeah, go for that.
I don't have it written down under attack, so I don't know how much damage it does, but I have a sling and 20 stones.
All right, roll an attack.
17?
Plus your stuff. Yeah, that. Well, who are you aiming at? The farmer?
Yeah, the farmer. I'm already up in his grill.
That definitely hits the farmer.
Okay.
I think it's a D6, but it might
I'm
be a
double
D4.
checking. I'm pulling it up.
D4.
Is it a
Excellent.
dex weapon then?
Take
Yeah.
that.
So it's whatever that is plus your dex bonus.
Okay, 4.
All right. So you smacked the hat off of the farmer and smack him in the head with a stone.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little rusty.
And everybody's running for the Lego hat. All right, great.
And I do announce that.
It is the 3 soldiers that are still up. It's their turn.
She was 15 feet from him before.
It's
Yep,
okay.
that
I don't
one.
know how to
Something
play
like
this
that.
game anyway, so.
All right, so the soldiers, the 2 down here who just saw the grease wizard, or the 2 on my right who saw the grease wizard drop the lawnmower on the guy's head, are going to take shots up at him. Oh,
Why?
boy. 14 and 8.
Miss and a
They
miss.
both do not pass.
Okay, so crack, crack. You hear them shoot out and sail past your. One's pretty close; it just buzzes past you. The other one's way off. The other soldier has kind of a straight shot at Amma, so he's going to take a shot there. That's 17.
That does hit.
Okay, and they do 5 points of piercing damage. That sinks into you under your leather armor, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And the other guy's dead. So
Mama is starting to really miss her other half.
the next turn, Ingo, the swan, sails over from one of the other areas that has been cut off from one of the other platforms and lands near Amma. If you could put him on
Excellent.
this side of the fence.
No, hit me with your best shot.
Hit me with your best shot.
All right. No, on the other side, if you would.
Shoot.
Okay. And he casts a tongue whip at the farmer.
These are horrible mental images. Could you not?
And it doesn't work.
please?
And he says, I believe I'll try something different next time.
Okay.
And Kira, it's your turn.
How does ensnaring strike work on a
Oomoo,
swarm?
Did you go?
Yeah, I did
Okay.
the entangle.
Right. Gotcha. How does what work?
Ensnaring strike work on a swarm? Does it affect the whole?
I think it's on a target.
It's on a target, but if you're treating something as a swarm and you
This?
have it as yes,
That counts as one creature if it's a swarm.
okay. So if I were to cast ensnaring strike on it,
It could theoretically ensnare it, yes.
okay. Do they count as having acted since they ran into the room?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I'm still going to attempt to cast ensnaring strike. I just don't get my plus.
Okay.
I don't hit because that is a 10, I'm assuming.
No. So roller derby girls just skate backwards a little bit out of the way on their as they're heading toward you.
Does it look cool?
It looks so cool. And their knee pads are like mismatched and stuff. It's great.
Aw.
Yeah.
What was ensnaring strike? Is that a bonus action?
Yes, bonus action.
Okay, so you get another attack. And I think it's on your next hit, right? So
Yes.
you've charged up like your bow with it.
I rolled a 2 again.
So zip zip, you can't hit these girls. Which is also their roller derby poster slogan. All right.
Everybody has a
So
concentration.
that's your bonus and your 2 attacks. Unless you want to move, I guess that's your turn.
I'll move up a little bit closer.
All right.
How much closer?
Define a little
I'll
bit.
use my full movement so I can reach back people.
5, 6. All right. Good. The roller derby girls act next. So they were kind of skating out of the way there. And they are just going to kind of do a...
What are you humming?
They can move.
Just-
Oh no. That's looking close to me.
It's pretty close. All right, they're going to try...
That's 10 feet away. If she's in that
Right
hex. Yeah.
All right, they move up to about there, and that's about what they're going to do for their turn. They're getting ready to pummel into Amma, who's sort of the tip of the spear here. All right, now the gremlins go. So 2 of them can move half their speed, right? The 2 who
Correct.
aren't restrained, so they can move 2 hexes. All right, and the other two have to roll strength checks.
Correct. Have to beat a 14.
They're still restrained. So 2 gremlins make a move. One breaks free of the entanglement, and the other one gets right to its edge. But the other 2 are still stuck in the back. This guy, even though he can't move, well, I already used his action, so I just can't do anything with him. All right, Grease Wizard, you're up.
I'm gonna cast Grease on the ladies.
Sure, what's the range on that? Is it like 60?
60.
Well, count it out. You're close.
Well, I've also got a flight speed of 60.
Okay, yeah,
So-
you could move for sure.
1, 2, 3, 40.
Okay. Here, put your grease there.
Gonna
Is
grease
that-
up the ladies.
Is that specifically on them or on the area?
It's on the area.
Okay.
All right, so they have to make what? Dex check on their skates?
Yeah,
On their greasy skates.
which I assume is not gonna be great
Well, it's a 16 against your spell save.
on skates.
Mm-hmm. They're
That
very,
is my spell save.
So
Come on,
they just
skates.
pass.
Oh wait, so they win?
yeah,
or
they,
lose?
they win on a tie because the roller wins.
But skates are
And they're
probably
rollers.
skates are probably a -1, right? Because
No
I
way.
casted it with my.
That's why their dex is so high.
It's because I
They're on
casted
skates.
it with my
And they are used to
weapon
skating.
of math destruction.
Aha. How does that work?
It works.
Because you've used a lot of those charges, haven't you?
Yeah, but I went a very long time without using it, so I've only used like 1. All right,
Because I know you used it twice in the stomach.
2.
That would be twice.
Yeah, but I hadn't used it previously because we went weeks without
Okay.
fighting.
So what does that do? Can it get it subtracted from a save, or does it have to be added to one of your rolls?
It may fudge the math of any attack or damage roll you make with the weapon.
Okay, so you didn't make an
Not
attack or
attack
damage
damage.
roll, so you cannot fudge their save.
You add or subtract a number after rolling, but the DM determines the result.
I would determine the result if you were able to
Oh,
roll
honey.
it, but you can't roll it.
Oh, honey.
You tried.
But corn
No.
and grease,
No.
you can
You
fry
tried.
up some corn, fried
No.
No, they're
Okay.
they're fine in the grease.
corn. Okay, it's still
You still have a bonus
The
action
axles
if
on
you
their
want.
skates are just corn cobs.
Bless you.
um
Did you want to move at
Unfortunately-
all? I know you were.
Unfortunately, you have now made their wheels work even better.
Yeah, they're extra slick.
no, I'll just fly.
Keep hovering there.
Yeah.
I'm
All right, Oomoo.
Okay, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4,
All right.
and I'm going to thorn whip the pack of ladies into the barbed wire.
You're going to have to get a little closer because it's 10 feet, isn't it? Thorn what?
It moves them 10 feet, but the range.
Oh, the
on it
range is
30.
longer. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. You're
Okay.
you're within 30.
It is still difficult terrain.
Okay.
So that's 15 plus my spell attack me to 21.
That hits.
And what was the dice on that?
So you
It's
wrap
2.
this thorn whip around the whole group of roller derby girls like a giant lasso because
Yeah,
I'm treating
2D.
them as a swarm.
2d6.
I'm just imagining bring your goat to work night at the roller derby.
3. I had my spell attack for that too, or no?
Unless it says it in
Okay.
the spell.
It's 4 damage and is pulling them into
Yeah,
the barbed
roll
wire.
a
gonna do anything?
2d4 for the barbed wire.
1. Big roller. 2. So 3.
So
4 plus 3. 7
7.
damage total.
All right, and now they are 10 feet closer to you, so they're in the wire, kind of. So they kind of slip in the grease just a little bit since it was so close, get thorn whipped as a group into the barbed wire, where they are resting for now. And they took damage. All right, the lawnmower man.
And if they, since they ended their turn in the barbed wire, on their next turn, if they try to move, are they going to take additional barbed wire damage?
Yeah, they will. The guy with the lawnmower trying to get inside his head.
That is not a place you want to be right
It's
now.
probably
Let me help.
pretty easy.
Let me help.
He's mad though. He's still got gremlin instincts. So he's going to use his turn to get the mower back operational with a tinkering check. And he fails his tinkering check and get his arm sucked into the machine as he finally frees the chain. But by doing so, the thing is still running and the blade turns back on. And he's going to
He's going to lose fingers.
I thought he already lost some.
He's going to lose more.
Oh boy. So his hand just gets ground off to the stump.
Oh,
and then
boy.
he screams, transforms back into a gremlin and explodes along with the lawnmower into
Oh,
a
good.
bunch of blue
Because I was about to
liquid.
put him out of his misery.
No, misery is
right.
more fun.
Okay.
The farmer.
In the dell.
The
I
farmer.
was thinking it, but I just didn't say it because I was like, no, that's stupid.
Thanks.
It was stupid.
Oh my god.
Where he can get is here.
Okay, did he move through Wonder Woman there?
Mm-mm.
No?
Did he move
He
through
went-
the grease?
Yes. Did he move through the grease?
No, not covering any more than half a hex.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's going to stab at Amma with his pitchfork.
Excellent.
That one I might actually hit somebody.
No.
18?
Yes. I've been hit already.
That's 5 piercing damage.
No, yes.
All right, that's the farmer's turn. Now it's your turn, Amma.
Okay, I'm gonna cast poison spray on him.
Okay. I got to make a save, right?
Isn't that is that a cone?
No, it's a single target.
They have to. Yeah, they have to.
I couldn't remember.
It's now in my head.
They have to do a
I can't
Constitution
raid.
saving throw.
That's 15
The
plus
druid pulls out a can
1.
of
16.
I don't.
Wasp
What,
raid.
against what?
Your spell save, DC?
I believe that's wisdom, right, for a druid.
No, it should be. It's
It's-
8 plus your wisdom plus your proficiency.
Okay, 8 plus 6 is 14.
Do you have a?
Okay. Well, that's both.
That's
the
with both.
proficiency and it's plus 3 plus 3.
It's
Okay.
14.
So it passes the save.
Okay.
He's like, that's just pesticides. Them's good stuff. Sorry, farmers. All the,
Come
our
on!
large farmer D&D listenership. Sorry. All right, the 3 soldiers that are still up, I think those 2 are going to take another shot at the grease wizard like they did last time. Oh, boy. No. Way not hits. 9 and 7.
No.
Crank, as the grease wizard just shifts from side to side in his
As Oomoo hears
flight form.
As Oomoo hears the buzzing sound of the bullets, he goes, "Those things shoot bees."
He narrowly missed by very fast bees. Grease wizard.
Everyone, look out! They're shooting bees.
All right, the other one's going to shoot at Kira. I think that's his best line of sight there. Man, 11.
Nope.
I'm starting to get the DM angry bad rolling.
Against everyone but me. You're fine against me.
How
All
are you
right,
doing health wise?
Not ideal.
Ingo is next.
I guess I could cure myself.
Theoretically, yeah.
All right, so Ingo is going to try to target somebody here, but he's got to roll randomly for something. Oh, no, it's a 4.
Someone kill his father? Because if they did,
All right, so he does shoot his tongue out again this time.
Is he still a swan?
He is. See that little yellow rubber pelican with the admiral hat?
Yeah, see,
That's
that's
a
why I
swan.
asked if he was still a swan.
wait, hang on. I have questions.
And pauldrons.
I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew before that you were going to be using a pelican for this encounter, why did you have me pick a swan for
Because the
his...
swan is beautiful.
I actually picked the pelican while you guys were downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Why do you own a small yellow pelican wearing
We
an
don't ask
admiral's
those
hat?
questions.
He was on my toy shelf over there with the sci-fi toys because he's like a little eraser dude. I was with my other dudes.
Yes, Will has his own special toy shelf.
The farmer fails his save and gets tongue lashed by Ingo for...
I gave him such a tongue lashing. It changes that expression from
Yeah.
now on.
You shouldn't be inside this thing's brain, you cretin. And he tongue lashes him, and the farmer gets yanked toward Ingo, turns back into a gremlin in midair, and explodes into blue goo that goes all over the top of the roller derby girls.
Yeah,
What about
get
his
him.
hat?
Huh?
What about his hat?
Yeah, that disappears too. So now the roller derby girls are glowing phosphorescent blue, which is a really cool effect. And
Wow, that
And
looks
one that
super
they'll
cool.
be applying again for their next roller derby.
that's right. We're back to the top of the order with Kira.
Well, obviously.
I'm helping.
Kira's like, who's gonna die next?
Pretty much. That's what I was leaning towards. I'm going to go for the one that's behind your melee map block thing.
Okay, that's the one that just threw bees at you, so go for it.
Now it's canon.
12.
No, it's not a bee cannon. 12.
In my head, it is.
That doesn't hit. It sticks into this barricade in the front.
Well, I then rolled a 12 plus 8, so 20.
That one does.
Okay. Has he taken damage?
No, not yet.
10?
10 damage.
Yes. And finally get to use Ensnaring Strike on him because it's on my
Okay.
next weapon hit.
Well, the 10 is going to burn him, so it uses your
Poofed.
ensnaring strike, but he gets poofed into blue, which lights up this barricade.
And
Are
the
you-
goo that's left over gets ensnared.
Yes, the goo is ensnared.
Are you guys familiar with the episode of The Office where Dwight does the fire drill, and then they're all panicking, and then the fireworks start going off, and Andy turns around and goes, "The fire's shooting at us!" Like that's how I'm imagining Oomoo right now.
These bees are really bad at flying, though.
But since he's a druid, he's also a little worried about the bees. He hopes they're okay after they get shot out.
Oh, man, those bees, they went too far.
Not the
They've gone
bees.
Oh,
too far.
All right, what am I going to do here?
Die horribly.
All right, the roller derby girls are going to pull themselves through the rest of the barbed wire, so that's going to be 2d4 that they take.
3.
Ooh, okay, so 6 damage. Then they merge on the other side. I guess, Amma, you would get an opportunity attack on them if you wanted to
Yes.
swing your shillelagh at them.
Yep, shillelagh. You guys just like saying shillelagh.
We do.
Yes,
It's a
and
fun
I'm the
word.
only one who should get to say shillelagh
With
just
your-
for the heck
okay,
of it.
I'll call it a shilligah.
Okay. So
A
just
shillag.
roll.
Mm-hmm.
Darn it! Ah, I want my old dice back. These are going in the bag.
So
I don't think an 11 is going to do it.
It does. Their AC is 11.
Yeah.
So you smack them with your shilligah. What? What damage does that do?
That does 1d8 plus 6.
Okay.
Okay, well that didn't. 9.
That's not bad.
It's not great.
It mostly kills them.
I'm going back to my old dice.
So you clock one of the roller derby girls with it, who gets knocked back into the barbed wire and explodes. But the rest of them keep skating on. There are actually multiple gremlins in this swarm, but I'm just treating them as one creature. It uses the rest of its movement, now that it's out of opportunity attack range, to try to charge into Kira. Now, because they're charging, they get a bonus. All right, that's
Wait, where were they again?
they went through the
So
barbed
they were
wire
at-
right
were-
next
Were
to.
they on this hex?
Doesn't
No,
that
they
mean-
didn't have to go to that hex to get through the barbed wire and
So they were on
around.
this. Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
that's why Amma got the opportunity attack.
Gotcha.
That's a 25 to hit. So
No,
I'm gonna
that
guess
misses.
that probably
No,
hits.
it misses.
Okay,
I'm under like eight
but just in
quarters
case
cover.
it hits, I'll roll the damage.
No, that misses. I don't want to almost die again.
Most of us is
You take 23 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jesus.
As you
Repeating, I don't want to die again.
as you get checked by this force moving at full
Yikes.
speed through you.
23.
And I need you to make a your choice, dexterity or strength save.
Dex?
You are prone. Okay, so
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what I add to it.
isn't it a 1
Dex?
or is it a 7?
That's a 7.
Okay.
Okay, I'm proficient in saving throws. So do I just add my proficiency or do I add proficiency plus
And
the mod?
dexterity.
Both.
Okay, then it's a 13.
Okay. Kira gets knocked prone. Okay. The roller derby girls use the rest of their movement since she's prone to just kind of start circling back around to about here. All right. It is the gremlins in the back's turn again. So the first two are going to just try and run and dash. So they can go. One can make an attack. This guy has to use part of his movement to get out. That's as far as he can go. The one moves up to Ingo and takes a swing at him with his claws. And that will hit. Oh, he actually, they have a bite attack, not a claw attack, for 6 damage. All right. The other two have to strength save, right, if they want to do anything. One's going to try and fail. The other one starts chewing this connection. Okay, he doesn't use his action to try to save. All right, Grease Wizard, it's your turn.
All right. Hey, Ingo.
Yes.
How much HP do you have?
I'm about halfway down now.
No, but like how much?
I don't know what that means.
Like percentage-wise, how good are you doing?
I'm like half.
Right, but if I was going to life
I
siphon
feel
you,
like half good.
if I was going to siphon some of your energy away, do you think you could handle 6d10?
6d10.
I don't know what the number 6010 means.
Right.
Is that 6010?
Nobody could handle a possible 60 damage.
I mean, it's not going to be 60 damage.
No,
it
but
could
it's
be
from
6.
It'll be more like 35, but
Risk it.
Do you think you could Hey, could I have some of your soul, please? Just for a little bit. You'll get it back in the morning.
No.
not if I can help it.
Bloody hell. All right. Well, let's go.
Oh, yeah, it has to be willing, right?
What were you gonna do?
I forgot why you were trying to convince him.
I guess,
yeah, no. He's not a willing creature.
hey, Alma. Can I have some of your love?
Hell no.
Oh. Hey, Oomoo.
No.
Hey, Kira.
I'm at 7.
All right. Hey, Goat. All right. Well,
I'm
No
pretty sure
response.
that means no.
1, 2. Hold on, I can move 60, so that's 12, right?
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
Why are you still doing the voice?
I could do whatever I want.
As he's flying through the air, every 5
1,
feet he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
What are you doing?
8, 9, 10.
And then I'm going to drop down in between these guys and thunder wave them.
You don't have enough movement to drop down. You're 30 feet up.
Well, I
You
went
have
on
5
a
feet
diagonal.
left.
I went on a diagonal.
No, you have 5 feet left.
I'm sorry, but like gravity?
Yeah, but like I was up
I
here
can
at
see
30
how
feet,
going up
and
would
then-
count as your movement, but I don't think going down can count as your movement.
It definitely counts as your movement unless you take fly off and you crash to the ground.
But
Because you were
From
defying
30
gravity.
feet up,
right,
which
but if
I
was
wouldn't.
going on a diagonal.
You did a diagonal. Like, there is no diagonal on hexes. It's the same amount of movement. That's why we
Exactly.
use
So
hexes.
I came. All right, fine. I came like this then at from over here I was at 30.
It took you 11 to move there. There was no way you could move there unless they're hexes, not a grid.
I'll cast Shatter from 30 feet.
All right,
On the two
where?
boys.
On the two soldiers?
Mm-hmm.
What do they roll?
Nothing.
Oh, you're still a goat
No, they
boy,
don't.
aren't you?
Constitution?
No, as soon as I started flying, I'm not a ghost boy anymore.
Oh, okay.
11 and 14.
No and no.
Okay.
3d8. Where's my 8?
That's a 10.
That's a 10. Plus 5.
Math destruction. Yeah, you can use it for your attack roll.
19.
They're just liquid.
Liquid boys.
No more soldiers. So, in case anybody's listening, I'm sure you were lost because we've been doing everything on the map. But basically, what's left right now after the Grease Wizard has moved that distance to the barricade and busted the last two soldiers into pudding, there are two regular gremlins left who are up in between the barricades and the barbed wire near the main part of the group. There are two gremlins still back in the entangled area. And the roller derby girls are sneaking up. Well, not really sneaking, barreling up
They
behind Oomoo, Amma, and Kira, who is prone.
I'm sorry I did the name Amma when we already had Oomoo. I
Amma
wasn't
and
thinking.
Oomoo, the druids.
I wasn't thinking.
This on the CW.
Do you need to change your name again, like Aaron?
Oomoo and Amma on the CW. Oomoo, it's your turn.
Hashtag
I'm
not
going
sponsored.
to wild shape using my symbiotic entity.
I was gonna wild shape.
You still can.
What is symbiotic entity?
That's the Spore Druid wild shape.
Okay, what does that do?
I get temporary hit points, 3 per druid level. My Halo of Spores damage doubles from 3 to a whole
That
6.
poison thing, yeah.
And then weapon damage adds 1d6.
Wow. So you just get like to be a big fungal Oomoo.
Yes.
Is that what it is? Like you're
Ugh.
half moose folk and
Yeah.
or half deer folk now and half mushroom folk?
Yeah.
Cool. Is that's a bonus action or an action?
That's an action. It's my wild shape.
Okay. Do you want to move
Uh,
or use any bonus actions?
no.
Okay.
I'm actually kind of happy right there.
All right. I guess I should cross off lawnmower man and farmer.
Lawnmower man.
Amma, it's
on
your turn.
my street.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the roller derby girls,
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely get there.
and
So they're kind of charging toward you, and you just start charging directly at them now.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to just a second. I'm going to decide what I'm going to. Oh wait, I was going to heal Kira. Sorry, I forgot.
Well, you could still make it there if that's what you wanted to do.
Can say instead of running
Yeah,
straight.
you would have been able to make it there.
2.
That's your call.
2.
Okay, yeah, I'll do heal wounds on Kira.
Okay.
Or cure wounds.
So you
So
level
that's
5.
what level do you want to cast it at? You get an extra dice for each level over 1.
I'll cast it at 2nd level.
D8.
Okay. So 2d8s plus your wisdom modifier. You had the modifier once.
That's 11 plus. Is that including? Oh, that's 11 plus 3.
Yep.
14.
14 points of healing, Kira, as some of your bludgeoning damage that you received from this roller derby pack that ran over you, some of the bruises start to go away already.
Thank you.
Anytime.
The soldiers are all dead, so it's Ingo's turn. He'll roll randomly. He casts telekinesis. All right, so he's going to cast it at the gremlin that's right up in his face. And he starts to pick the gremlin up and push him, but he only gets him about 5 feet away before the gremlin stops. And seemingly passing with his strength against that telekinetic force that tried to knock him backwards.
Can Oomoo talk to him during his turn here?
Mm-hmm.
Move 5 feet to your left or right.
All right, he flaps a little bit and goes back like 10 feet toward you, Sam. Yep, right there somewhere. Okay. Now it's back to the top with Kira.
Stand up.
All right, well, that's your movement.
Can I still act or no?
Yeah, that's just your movement.
Okay, I'm going to turn and... How close are the Derby girls to me?
5, 10, 15-ish.
20, 15, 20 feet.
So I can shoot at them with my bow and arrow?
Yeah, as long as they're not right next to you, you won't get disadvantage.
Can I still use both my attacks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that costs you to stand up is your movement score.
23 and 24.
They both hit. 2 arrows into this swarm of Derby girls that sink in between their pads.
11 and 4, so 15.
All right. The roller derby girls are down to roller derby girl at this point. So those 2 arrows take out the 2 blockers running in the front, and we've just got 1 derby girl left. It is her turn. They're going to go for you, and redirect their... after you took out... Or she is going to go for you after you took out her friends there. So she's coming in your direction and going to try to bash into you again.
Do I need to try and dodge?
No, it's an attack. It's a 17.
Yeah.
Okay. And they did move far enough to get a bonus.
But it's only 1, so she does less damage, right?
No, she's mad. 24 points of damage.
I don't want to die.
You unconscious?
Mhm.
Or okay. Kira's knocked down again as the swarm bashes into her. Or the single roller derby girl bashes into her. And they are going to try and circle back around again to where they were, but Amma would get an attack of opportunity if they do.
I will take it if
Okay.
they do.
Yeah. So swing your club.
She would?
She got knocked back when
That's
From
1.
Well, but
because they
wouldn't.
blasted through Kira.
Oh, so they went
They went into
through.
her space.
Okay.
What did you get?
Crit fail.
It's a 1.
Okay, so they circle back around about to where they were. Or she does. All right.
I swing my club like someone
she just-
swinging for a baseball and just does a full 360.
She just ducks under your club and skates with her hands behind her back over to where she was. And it's kind of spinning around that area.
You know that one guy who goes to Fun Quest on Thursday family night alone?
Yep.
Have we? And he puts his hands on his belt buckle and dances while he skates.
Yep. She's got that vibe, she's more comfortable on skates than on, shoes, than on shoes. It's hard to walk on shoes.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that, but that's okay.
I think the only person Gremlin in the front can reach would be... Well, actually, he can throw a static charge. So he's going to throw one at Oomoo. He's close enough for that. And the other one's going to throw one at GW. They can throw 40 feet. Oomoo, that's 20 to hit. That's 5 points of lightning damage. And GW, that's 9 to hit.
Does not hit.
So as the roller derby girl does her move on the roller skates, you just do the same move up in the air as the lightning bolt goes by and kind of point at her like it's your turn now.
Nice moves, babe.
Wizard caca. Okay. Who's next? Oh, the dudes in the
the two
back.
gremlins.
Yeah. Failed strength save. And the other one looks like he's chewed through about half of this tendril. All right. And then it is Grease Wizard's turn.
Right, so I'm going to fly over to them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cast in a shatter
Okay.
on both of them.
Constitution saves.
Yeah. With the weapon of math destruction.
Your fourth
You have to
charge.
do an attack roll.
Oh, right.
That's not an attack roll, but they both fail.
Right. So I'll add
save
it to the...
You can add it to the
Oh.
damage if you
Yeah.
want. Yes.
18 plus 5 is
23.
23.
Poof and poof.
So you have taken out the two rear gremlins. Well, I guess they're brain gremlins. The rear gremlins were something that Ingo was trying to take out. All right. Oomoo, what you going to do?
I'm going to Thorn Whip Wonder Woman.
The remaining roller
Last
derby
of the
girl?
Roller Derby girl, yeah.
That's
right.
not Wonder Woman. That's Blue Boots.
Okay. Oh, God.
Family reference.
Off the table.
What you gonna do?
15 plus...
Hits.
Yeah, okay. And then...
She tries to dodge out of the way.
It's a 6 and a 4, 10.
10 damage. All right.
Please kill her.
So you smack into the roller derby girl with your thorn whip. You trying to pull her closer?
Yes.
She moves twice as far because she's on skates and then explodes into a blue liquid,
So
Thank
Umu
you.
making
is
a little
covered.
bit of blue goo on the Oomoo.
Umu just...
Not pleasant.
He
Kinda-
tastes it for those
kinda
of you
like-
who can't see what Mike is miming over here.
Plain rotten hot sauce.
Hopefully it's good for the mushrooms.
Amma, you're up. What we have left,
Like a mother.
again, just for the listener's sake, is two memory gremlins who are kind of stranded in no man's land between the two sets of barbed wire near the grease.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, we also have a Kira who's unconscious that Mike is.
She's
frantically
unconscious
pointing to-
again?
But
Yes.
last time she was prone. This time she's unconscious.
Okay, I'll
This-
cure wounds again.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
5 feet over to Kira. Poof with cure wounds. What level?
Second level
Okay.
again. Oh wait, I should probably mark down my spell slots.
So that'd be
Yeah.
2d8 plus 3. My guy's on deck.
And that is an 8 and a 5.
13,
so 13
16.
plus 3 is 16.
Hey, you're at 16 health. She's actually still prone, technically. All right.
Well,
Ingo throws another telekinesis because he rolled the same number.
Yeah, I'm like a lightning dragonborn, so I like defibrillate her.
This time, the closest of the gremlins gets thrown off the side with telekinesis.
Yeet!
and is no more.
And now it's Kira's turn.
I'm going to sit up. I guess stand up. And cure wounds on myself.
Okay. They're dead.
Sorry,
Just
guys.
one
I'm using...
solitary little gremlin left.
Yeah.
He looks around and realizes that he is alone.
Yeah, he's not in good shape.
for 7 points.
Can't really get away anywhere either.
Nope.
He's going to just run 10 feet forward toward Oomoo and throw a static charge at him.
That's not really towards Oomoo. Now he's not on the space that he was.
Well, he can move more than that, but that's about how far he's going. That's 14.
That's a miss.
Okay. Sails past as you're kind of like inspecting the blue goo and duck your head down. The stack of lightning
with the
sails
blue
over
goo.
your head. Yeah. Oomoo with the blue goo is safe. Next is Grease Wizard.
Firebolt.
Yeah. All right. Roll an attack.
Heavy emphasis on the...
Yeah. This is a
Plus
good time for
spell
Firebolt,
casting.
probably.
21, 22.
Yeah, definitely hits. So roll your damage.
That's 2d10 now.
Yep.
But I am a big boy.
You are a big boy.
You're a big boy
4.
now.
9.
All right.
13.
You got it. He explodes into more blue goo, and seemingly the scene has been cleared.
Seemingly.
Seemingly?
The tendril here toward me or toward Kira, or toward Amy, not toward Kira,
Because Kira's on
is
the opposite side of the
halfway
board.
chewed through, but doesn't appear to have come all the way off. You watch a blue bolt of energy come down to the end of it and still make it into your platform and light it up instead of throwing lightning across its surface.
Tinker check again. Try and
You get the idea that these other ones, though they were detached, have been sealed in some way by these creatures. So even though they're not connected in the other places, this is the first time you've seen some of the things sealed up.
Is that good or bad?
Looks like they didn't want to get hit with lightning, basically. So
So I guess we just chill here for a
can
while.
I try and tinker it back together?
I want to go ahead and drop the entangling.
Okay.
area.
Yeah, entangling's gone. Is grease concentration, or it just lasts an hour or something,
I think
right?
it just lasts an hour.
It's a cantrip, isn't it, for you?
No, I wish it was.
I thought you had it as a cantrip.
No.
I think when we did the bandit battle, we had it lingering.
I think it's just there right now, but it's easy enough if you want to move
It
around
lasts a
it.
minute.
Oh, okay. So after
We had it for days.
after the combat, yeah, but you were using it different.
Yeah, but-
you weren't
yeah.
using
No,
it to
I
be
know.
slippery. You were using it just to be flammable. Ingo sits down and starts to try and meditate and try and heal himself.
Same.
He says, I believe we are getting close to our final destination. It may be a good time to keep an eye on things, but maybe to take a quick breather and try and recover.
Yes.
Short break, yes, please.
So, are we ready with the short rests?
Sure.
Yeah.
To move on? Okay.
That's exciting.
While you were here on the short rests, you could see that through all of the electricity crackling nearby, the quickest way is across that bridge that was getting gnawed apart. You definitely had a chance to catch your breath here a little bit for the first time since you've been inside this goat.
Meh.
That's a fun sentence.
Weird way of putting that.
So you can get a commanding view of where these connections lead during your rest because of how often the darkness has been speckled with this lightning.
Goat rave.
You can see, though,
Showing the
throughout
brain
that
of a
time that a thin line of gremlins or mental demons or whatever we're calling them have been coalescing on a single platform that's not far from here. It's maybe 3 away. But that platform never seems to fill up with them. And after a while, it seems as though the lines of those gremlins going to the platform seem to trickle out a little bit. And then there's just a single dark spot here and there on other platforms that you can see. But the cluster's activity of electricity in the middle there is manic. It's up to constant blasts of energy that eclipse any storms you've ever seen in your lifetimes. And at the center, where all of those lines of gremlins had been streaming towards and sort of meeting, there is a huge dark mass. Okay.
Super gremlin.
What do you want to do?
Start heading towards it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we got to take it down, I guess.
What's the plan for how you're heading toward it? Are you
Most
going
direct
quickly?
way.
Are you going sneakily? Are you just running across these connections? Or
Ingo, what would you recommend?
I believe I can fly in that direction.
Well, I believe you can fly.
I will probably wait until I see some sort of action occurring there and then swoop in and do my best to aid you.
I was thinking we go there and then we hang back to scope it out.
Yeah,
But
I'll do
get-
my best to sneak using spider climb. No, wait, I don't have that anymore. Never mind.
Okay.
Maybe
Just
not
sneak,
sneak
period.
all the way there, but get there and just
Right.
stay back.
Yeah, I
slightly.
agree.
So wait, the gremlins are just appearing on these platforms, or they're all marching?
Like they were
towards it?
marching like lines of ants.
Okay.
Just up to that big central platform. But now the lines of ants have really thinned out, and there's just one here and one there.
So they've had time to all collect on the central platform, and they're turning into this dark mass.
You can roll a perception check, I guess.
Investigation.
No, perception is good.
Perception.
10.
Yikes.
13.
19.
13.
Kira, with your ranger eyes as you take a glance across to that other platform. You don't think that these are individual things anymore that have massed on this platform. It looks like they've sort of coalesced into a single
Mega
body.
gremlin.
Yeah, and it's pretty big.
It's a big mega gremlin.
It's like a huge. It's hard to tell exactly what shape it is from this far.
It's hard to tell what shape it is exactly from this far.
How many like tendrils are coming off of the platform that they're on?
That one looks like it's intact. Like most of these have about 6 or 7 tendrils on them. It doesn't look like this one's been touched. Like it looks like this is a place that they haven't tried to damage or anything.
So we couldn't sink it.
No. Well, I mean, potentially. You see that the tendrils that are near it, a lot of them have pieces cut off of them, and you see the explosions are big on the surrounding platforms, which will make it a little bit tricky to get over there. But this one seems like it is connected, and it's one, as you watch the sort of pattern of these pulses, looks like a lot of them are originating here to those surrounding platforms.
Don't want to sink it.
Okay.
Well,
So sneaky.
Yeah.
All right, everybody roll stealth checks, please.
Oh boy.
20.
Natural 20.
9.
19.
All right.
Okay.
Most pass in that. So you guys stealthily get up much closer. You know you're one platform away. There's one between you and it. And you could potentially stealth across it, but you're going to risk having a lightning bolt hit you. You think, based on the way they're timing and going through this platform, if you made a mad dash across it, you could make it without getting hit by the bolt. But if you try to sneak, you might get hit by 1 or 2. So I guess that's your call if you want to try and keep this stealth or you want to try and make a dash. It's hard to see
For dashing.
based
I'm for
on
dashing.
the platform's up a little bit from where you are, so it's hard to see what's going on it, but it also might obscure the vision of you from up there a little bit too.
Dash.
Can,
Do this.
can I just have a quick rundown on what the lucidity does again?
Yeah, the lucidity allows you to change some aspect of either the narrative, yourself, your friends, or anything around you, the environment, to a way that would be a little bit more advantageous than it originally was.
Can I use it to pause time so that we have time to go across to this thing without having to do a mad dash?
Without having to sneak?
I mean, without having to
Like-
like from the perceptions of this thing, we're just poof there.
Yeah. Okay. I think, what you do then is you kind of close your eyes for a second as everybody's getting ready to make a mad dash across this piece. Do you say anything to them? Because they're kind of getting ready to just burst across and run.
I don't know if this is going to work, but go now. Tap all of them on the head.
Okay. So you do that, and as the blue light starts streaming down from the above platform, coming down the ramp, kind of like a slide coming down toward you, and when it hits your platform and the lightning starts to hit one of those empty, like, detached spots where the tendrils were, and everybody's still a few, strides away from the other end, you just kind of close your eyes and imagine that the tendrils have not been, was never there to begin with. So instead of having, like, this severed connection, you just have part of the sort of circle of this platform there where it basically heals over almost like a scab, but less obvious, I guess. And then it absorbs all of the energy into the platform and sends it on through one of the other tubes instead of exploding in lightning over you. And you get a clear shot toward that platform running up to the top without having to try and dodge any of the lightning or anything.
Okay.
All right. So looks like it worked. And as you get up to the top, you have like a little bit of like a ledge that you can look over without really revealing yourselves. You see the huge black kind of humanoid turn around and start kind of just walking over to the side where there's a pile of these like blue goo that you've seen, like this big pool, but it's so thick it's sort of made a heap. And when he turns and you get him in profile, you only can see him from the front. Like if you look at him from the back or the side, he's just a shadow. But on the front, he's wearing this white apron, but it's more crimson with blood spatter that's all over it. His teeth curl around the stub of a wet cigar, and sweat trails down from dark hair that is plastered right across his forehead. There are piles of that goo in front of him, and then you see some gremlins who are marching in their true forms, some marching in the forms of humanoids like soldiers, some couple in the forms of dogs, and many, many still in the forms of goats that are trailing up, are forming a line in front of him, perpendicular to him. He's sort of improportionately large compared to them, and they pass as if on a conveyor belt, stick out their necks, and wait for him to bring down his big two-handed cleaver down for the chop. And in one brutal blow, their tongues loll out of the side of their mouths, their bodies fall over with sickeningly regular thuds, explode into that blue goo that's all around him, that's sort of lighting up the front of him. And basically sounds like the firing of a piston in a machine. Boom, 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 killing over and over and over again. As is basically, it sends this small charge of electric across the length of his cleaver as it disconnects those individuals, and he gets just a little bit bigger with each jolt, discreetly, but definitely larger and visibly sweatier and more muscular and more grotesque.
Basically,
All right,
we need to take him out.
I pop
quickly.
up and say, "Hey, buddy, need a light?" And I cast Fireball at him.
And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Because he's got the cigar.
Yeah.
That'll be your surprise. All right. That's where we'll pick up. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to Date Night.
Bye,
Find us
I
on
love you.
Facebook and Twitter at D8 Night Podcast.
I love you.
I love you.
You hang up.
Bye. Yeah, will you tuck me in?
Or check out our website.